Obligatory Thursday show. Go fuck yourselves. Hi, everybody. My name is Peter Feliciano. Welcome to Conservatish, episode 52. I know. I guess I'm going to put this out in about an hour and a half. So I guess I'm about 12 hours late to my normal schedule. But I was flying in from New York. I spent the weekend in New York, and then it was I guess the flight was about 3.5 hours late. I thought about You ever have those? And I know I'm definitely speaking more to the men. Well, I know women have their own version of it. Y'all are fucking dirty little monkeys as well, but there was this stewardess on the plane. This little fucking... She wasn't, like, cute, but there was something about her that it was just like... she was, like, maybe 46, 47. You know, no ring. And it was, like, loud that you could tell. Like, she had a husband who, you know, they probably broke up maybe, like, 3-4 years ago. And so she'd been dating. Maybe she has a boyfriend, you know. Maybe she's got a son, you know, and... Her and Charles just couldn't make it work, and she seems like the lady who has a son who's maybe 12. I just thought about her coming on my fingers. It was really, really late. I had a long, beautiful day yesterday, and I was really tired. Guys, you know that tired, like, you ever wake up in from, like, accidentally sleeping on a plane, and your dick is just, like, so hard, you've never, like, my dick was so fucking weirdly hard. I had a weird, angry boner. And I just was, like, as we were landing, like, I slept accidentally for, like, maybe an hour. So I'm sitting in the exit seat, and the exit seat, like, she's right across on the little seat that they fold out of the wall on JetBlue, so that she's like facing me. And I had my dick kind of like, it was in this weird position because I had been sleeping. It was this weird, like, up position instead of, like, down, maybe by my leg hard. It was like up, like poking into the underwear, and then like up. It was wildly uncomfortable, but it also was like, I wish I could, like, put along the side of my leg, you know, so it, like, kind of tubes, you know what I mean? Like, you ever seen Me, Myself, and Irene, like that type of thing? And, yeah, I just thought about her coming on my fingers. Thought about, like, clicking open her fucking seatbelt as we were flying at an incredible rate of speed. Anyway. Hi, everybody. I just got back from New York. It was an amazing weekend. I brought myself along, which I gotta tell you, I really wish I hadn't, but I did. I had some obsession and some fear and some uncomfortability, and I just had all these. I was just bothered with myself throughout a lot of the weekend. I had a great weekend in either way, which was wonderful, but at the same time, I definitely brought myself, and it was good. When I went in November to scope out New York and feel it out and feel if it was the right place for me to move, that trip was much more like kind of romantic, you know? It was kind of like, wow, look at how beautiful, and look at how, like, gritty and awesome, and I'm gonna be this guy when I'm over here, and I'm never gonna overeat again, and I'm, you know, I mean, I overate like a motherfucker on that trip, but this last weekend it was just lots of sugar and shit, and I wasn't counting calories for nothing. I forced in a salad, I think at one point, but I don't think a vegetable touched my face. Which, by the way, I don't respect. If you're eating a burger, even at Subway, I was at Subway earlier, don't put fucking vegetables on your fucking sandwich, you goddamn cretins. Like, don't you want meat and cheese and sauce? What is fucking wrong with you? Meat, cheese, sauce, bacon, maybe an onion. Maybe a little bit of onion. But don't put put all that lettuce and tomato on there. I wanna taste less deliciousness. You fucking idiots. Get that fucking sandwich. God damn it. No, I want olives. Ugh. Gross motherfuckers. Anyway. What was I saying? Oh yeah. So but yeah, I was in a bunch of like fear, and I just was distracted with shit and just wasn't in the moment throughout a lot of it. It was great. It was a great trip anyway, but I was like, man, I wish I could have let myself enjoy how great the trip was. I got to be on the Beige Phillip podcast. Beige Phillip, the host is Dante Nero. Was a friend of Patrice and a comedian, really funny comedian, former stripper, former male stripper, and former pimp. Amazing, huge life story that guy has, and used to do the Black Phillip Show, which was Patrice O'Neal's show on Sirius, I've listened to the Black Phillip episodes millions of fucking times. All of anything Patrice has ever done, I've dunked my head in millions of times. And I got to go out there to New York. I scheduled this trip around the Patrice O'Neal benefit, which was a great show. There was even comedians like, Michelle Wolf. At first, I was like, yeah, this bitch is going to be like, fucking whatever. She was really funny. Oh, and not just that, by the way. I experienced that thing that I talk about. I disagreed with a political viewpoint that someone took on stage, and I minded my own fucking business. And even I laughed at a couple of things that someone said that I disagreed with because they framed it in a funny way and made a joke. So you can do it too, kids. But I had a great time there, and I got to be on the Beige Phillip Show, and not just as like a witness, but like as a guest, and so it was a huge privilege to do that. And I'll if you follow me on social media, I'll be posting about it and sharing the episode when it's ready in about a week, maybe two. I also will tell you in advance, if you are someone who's fucking me or thinking about fucking me, you're not gonna. I explicitly forbid you to listen to the goddamn podcast from now on. Okay. I'm not gonna explain. It's a longer story, but in general, I'm like, I don't want to. I'm not gonna tell tales at a school. I'm not gonna like say someone's name or whatever, their body type or whatever. But I will say, like, if I'm recording this podcast and there's been once or twice where I've talked about somebody I'm seeing, or on the Beige Phillip Show I did more specifically, and I don't want to like watch my mouth, in a way. Like, I know I should. That's an adult thing to do, but I just don't. I don't want to censor myself because someone might listen who, So I'm just saying in advance, you are forbade. I forbade you to listen if you are dating me. Anyway, but I got to be on that show. Got to stalk the Comedy Cellar for a few days, which was awesome. I love just being in there. Colin Quinn and Patrice O'Neal and Jim Norton and Bill Burr and Nick DiPaolo and all of the comedians who have performed there and been in the room. Just the fucking old wood and the brick wall and the deliciousness of that room. It's so romantic to me and so special just to be in there. And I don't know. So it was great to be in there. I got to see the Patrice benefit, and so I got to see Bill Burr and Rich Voss and Michelle Wolf and Mark Normand and a bunch of really funny comedians. Brendan Burns, who was a friend of Patrice's from Australia. Really, I thought it was great, and and then on the last day, the last day in New York, I was walking around the city in the snow with my suitcase, which had my amp and my stand and cameras and audio recording equipment and goddamn, my fucking heavy ass guitar with the cords and the cables and the this and the that and the microphones, and I had all, and a week's worth of clothes and bullshit. I brought a book too. I don't want to fucking. I'm not gonna read because you're gonna browbeat me into reading. I don't read. Sorry. Oh, like I'm a busy motherfucking guy. All right, I listen to thousands of hours of podcasts and radios, and I'm reading through my ears. Okay, leave me the fuck alone. I'm a busy boy. I got shit to think about and pizza to eat. Got to hang out with my friend Christina, who's a badass, and a voice actress, and she used to live in the Bay Area and now lives out there in Manhattan, and she was a great help in figuring out, where I might want to live and what to do, and I got to talk to her a lot about the differences between New York and the Bay, and what opportunities could be out there, I got to, anyway, so yeah, on the last day in the snow and the bullshit, I was emailing with the producer of YKWD, You Know What Dude, the podcast that Robert Kelly heads, and it was going to be on the same night. They were scheduled to record on the same night as the Patrice benefit, so I was going to have to leave early, and then they switched it to the day afterwards at 2:30, and so I was grateful for that. But then I show up at 2 o'clock and sit at the olive tree upstairs, and then I go upstairs to record the podcast. I lug my giant suitcase and fucking guitar, which it's a small thing, but like when the straps are up, like it pokes out a lot higher than my dumb bald head, so it was like I had to like crouch down and then move the straps and then also move the fucking, lean the suitcase on my chest as I it was just a fucking it was a hell. It was fucking hell. And then it turns out they moved it to 5:30. So I was like, god damn it, I'm gonna miss my I have to. Okay, fine. I'll stick around until 5:30, but I might have to, leave early to go catch my flight, and then they moved the flight, so it was okay. I know this episode's weird. I'm literally recanting my fucking trip, but if you're a fan of this podcast, you're probably interested in listening to my voice, no matter what I'm talking about. But if you're a fan of the podcast, you understand this is like a heavy thing that I'm thinking of moving 3,000 miles away, and I want to do it the right way, and so visiting, it's yeah. Anyway, so they moved it to 5:30, and I got to be there. Sitting in the background, and then actually during the podcast, they started talking about politics, and Bobby asked me what I thought about some things, and so I talked about the podcast, and which was huge. I mean, I don't know if anyone's going to be listening to YKWD, and then it's like, oh, conservative, eh? And then start listening to this nonsense. But, and this, obviously, this is not maybe the best episode to share with somebody first off. Yeah, let's listen to this guy I don't know talk about shit I don't give a fuck about, but whatever. It's my goddamn podcast. So anyway, I got to be on YKWD, which was really awesome. Just to be in the same room as the comedians that I look up to. It's a weird thing too, because I'm acutely aware that I'm an awkward person sometimes. I'm outgoing and I'm this and that or whatever, but like I also didn't want to be like schmaltzy. I didn't want to be LA, like being around these comedians and being like, hi, by the way, I'm a podcaster and I make me famous, please. I'll suck your dick. I didn't want to be that guy, but I also didn't want to be like Mr. False Humility. Just, I don't listen. I don't, I'm just a fan, because I'm a huge fan of Bobby's and I'm a huge fan of these guys, but I'm also a fucking, sorry in advance, but an artist in my own right. And, closed mouth doesn't get fed type of shit. Like, I do have to try for things, and I do have to speak up, and I do have to stand out, and I do have to put in work. So, it was strange to kind of, I had to do a lot of, like, praying and thinking and, like, not be annoying, especially if I'm in the background of a podcast. Like, I don't want to be, like, overly laughing, although I do have a loud, annoying clapping laugh. And I didn't want to be too, like, check out my personality, everybody. I'm desperate for attention. So I tried to be careful of that, and I think I did okay. But then I also, like, when, it's a dumb detail, but, like, when Bobby, like, would look at me, like, my belly kind of, like, tightened up. I'm like, I just get nervous. You know what I mean? Because I was like, this is fucking Dante Nero. This is Bobby, like, looking at me in my eyeballs with their eyeballs. It was just like, yeah, it was kind of crazy and awesome, but it was also just kind of crazy. I don't know. It was a great thing to witness and a great thing to kind of be a part of, and then Joe List kind of got in a fight with him a little bit, and it was Bobby and Joe List were yelling at each other, and there was a certain point where I was like, I may have to grab Joe if this gets physical, because they were screaming at each other. It was pretty interesting. I'll share the episode with you guys when it is fully edited and out in the next few days. Yeah, it was a cool experience. I'm maybe people can relate to this, but I at the same time feel wildly unqualified for, like, a good life, and like I want it at the same time. Like, I know that I want to be around musicians and comedians and be a musician / comedian or whatever the hell, and I know that I'm good at that stuff, but I also am like, I don't know if I'm ready. As far as thinking about moving to goddamn New York, it's like a piece of it is I'm hesitant because of wanting to do it the right way and be mature and responsible, because I am 32 and I can't just, text, I can't just do it like, texting my mom, hey, can you wire me thousands of dollars to be the parachute that I should have, prepared for. But I also, it's heavier because it means going for what I actually want. And that's scary on many levels. A piece of me feels like I should be a different person before I become the person that I want to be. Like, let me explain this a little differently, maybe. Like, a piece of me feels like or like that the circumstances should be perfect or should look perfect. You know what I mean? Like, if I do move, I want to be so financially sound that I'm already, in my 40s financially, or I want to be so prepared with, like, all this experience and the album done a certain way and released a certain way, and I just have these fixed ideas about what it's all supposed to look like and what my internal spiritual, mental, emotional condition is supposed to look like, physical condition is supposed to look like before I try for what I want, or before I move, or before I whatever. And I'm coming to the realization I don't think that that's a thing. Like, I'm a little unsure about sharing this, but yeah, I'll share it. My grandmother passed away yesterday, and part of it is, I don't know if it's emotionally hit me as much, which is its own conversation, but I feel like it's supposed to look a certain way, like if I go down, no, I'm not going to say that. I don't know. It just factors in, like, as far as what I'm supposed to feel or what it's supposed to look like. Like, with her passing away, there's this feeling of, like, wait, that doesn't make sense. Like, that doesn't fit into my, romantic comedy version of life, like, in my mind, about what life and relationships and death are supposed to look like. Like, I thought I would be more prepared for it in some ways, I'm not saying I'm doing anything wrong or that the relationship wasn't perfect in its own way, but it does feel a bit like, okay, this is real life, like this, like, because this, I thought I was gonna be, or I thought I should be XYZ, like prepared in this way or that way, and it was weird. I got to, she was kind of unresponsive in the hospital, and then there was a weird little second wind that she caught, and so my ma called us, me and my brothers, and said, "You should talk to her real quick." And so I got to say goodbye, and then right after saying goodbye, I went downstairs and went to the Patrice O'Neal benefit, and I'm sitting in the audience. Cypher Sounds was a really funny DJ and comedian, and so he was, he was funny for sure and playing some good music. But he had there were these pictures up, these slides of Patrice with his friends, and pictures from benefits in the past, and while they're playing like "Don't Stop Believin'" and all this funny music or whatever. But it was heavy under the light of, the last words to my grandma, but it was also heavy in this other way, this reminder of being in the present moment, this reminder of the relationships, like the importance and how fleeting everything is right now, which, may cause you to realize you don't actually want to listen to this and turn this off. But like, why am I wasting my time listening to this douche when I should be like, calling my mother? And please, whatever. But it's a good reminder. It was just like these guys in those pictures, looking at Patrice and Colin and Rich and Bill Burr and Jim Norton and, all these guys. When, I looked at a picture of Bill Burr, Rich Voss, and Patrice O'Neal all sitting in this classroom, or it looked like a classroom, and they're all just, I'm sure making fun of each other or whatever. And that beautiful picture of laughing and connection and joy, and I guarantee that at least one of them was worried about money or lack of it, was worried about a relationship or a lack of it, was worried about, had these problems, these human fucking problems, even though they were having that time. And that whole stupid cliche of like, I wish we could know that it's the good old times when you're in it. Like, I have problems, I have, you obviously know that if you're a fan of this podcast, but I have these issues, and I have these, ways I disappoint myself, and ways that life disappoints me, or relationships that start that are rocky, or relationships that end, or financial issues or health issues. Like, I have all this stuff, this life stuff, and I can't live for that picture. You know what I mean? Like, I had a mentor one time tell me, like, Pete, you kind of live for, it seems like you live for that last 5 minutes of your life, where you're on your deathbed saying, yeah, I had a really good life. Like, you're living for that 5 minutes instead of for the moment. and that's absolutely true, I think. I forget that, like, oh yeah, okay, I have all these issues. But like Bill Burr and Rich Voss and Patrice O'Neal, three of the funniest people that have ever lived, are all sitting around a table laughing at each other and enjoying each other, and I don't want to live for just having a picture of that instead of, and living for the last 5 minutes and actually missing the entire life. I don't want to live for that picture, whether it be, because I'm trying to show it to fucking social media, or use it for my career, or use it to validate me as a human being. I do that with sex a lot too. But like, I don't want to miss the actual now. I don't want to miss the actual moment or the actual connection, or the, just because I'm worried about something I did that I'm disappointed in myself for, just because I'm angry about it, a fight I had with somebody, or what am I going to do with this job, or what am I going to do with this lack of job, or any of that shit. Like, right now is what matters. Yeah, I don't know. So it's been a weird weekend. It's been a great weekend, but it's been a weird weekend. And I was having a celebration about a week and a half ago, turning 17 years sober, and had some friends come up and join me at a Max's in San Francisco, and we all just talked shit and had fun for a couple of hours, and it was great. And at a certain point, I had these 4 people on the left of me and 4 or 5 people on the right of me talking amongst themselves, and I wasn't involved in either conversation. I looked to the right and I looked to the left, and I'm like, yeah, this is great. Like, right there, these people, I don't have to worry about them loving me, because they do, because I forget that a lot. Even though those people came up, from their lives to go celebrate our relationship and love on each other and experience, a dumb little dinner. I forget that a lot. I forget that these people love me, or that I'm lovable. I'm so busy trying to trying to make sure I receive love, that I forget that I'm in the middle of it. You know what I mean? I forget that it's all around me. You know what I mean? I know it's schmaltzy and it's schlocky and it's corny and fuck you and blah, blah, blah. I'll get back to dick jokes at some point. But you understand what I'm saying? Like, do you fucking understand what I'm saying? Like, I think, I think talking about, Trump or feminism is just as important as individual experiences too, and it's just funny how my mind works. It's funny how humans work. It's funny how I'm so busy trying to live for this time that's always just out of reach, that I forget that I'm actually in it right now. That even though I have these things I beat myself up for, even though I have these character flaws, or these, finances or romances or lack of both or whatever the fuck, even though I have this shit in my life and these troubles, that doesn't give me the right to just completely forget that I'm living a life right now. That I need to try to enjoy myself exactly as I am right now. Enjoy life exactly as it is right now. And that's a hard muscle to work out. It's a hard muscle to work out, because my brain says, if I just had X, or if I just experience X, I'll be happy, or I'll experience what I'll get what I want if I whatever. And often I'll get that whatever, and it won't be enough anyway. I can't tell you how many times I'm like, man, I want a girlfriend. And then I get a girlfriend. I'm like, man, I want a different girlfriend. Man, I can't tell you how many times I'm like, oh, I wish I had a job. And then 3 months into the job, like the first month, I'm like happy to work there. And I'm like, oh yeah, money, money, money. And I'm fucking on and popping, and I'm coming in early, and I'm staying late, and I'm grateful to be there. And then 3 months in, I'm like, man, these people don't treat me right. And this isn't right. And blah, 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 blah. Like, I'm not a satisfied person. I'm a malcontent. I'm not saying like every job is perfect, or every relationship you should stay in all the goddamn time, but you understand what I'm saying. Like, I feel like I have the type of personality that almost wants to test the boundaries of what would get me kicked out of life. You know what I mean? Like, I have the type of personality who wants to, scratch the taboo or say the thing that I shouldn't say, or, I just have that type of personality, and people have ruthlessly loved me. You know what I mean? Like, fucking refused to let me be alone, and it's been great, so if I know there's a lot of people who, know me or love me, who listen to the podcast, and I just want to say I appreciate that, and I appreciate, this, and our connection, whatever it may be. So anyway, politics. Dun, 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 dun. No. I'm just saying. I actually did have on the last episode, there was a guy, Gradient, half Japanese, half white rapper, and studying to be a social studies teacher, and really just a fun episode. Go listen to episode 51. But I had that guy on, and he's a liberal, and had the experience of, like, I haven't listened to the episode, but I had a great conversation with him. And then I had somebody, a couple of people message me who are right-leaning, who are like, you should have blah, 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 blah on this and that. And it's funny how, I don't know if it actually fits into the other part of this episode, but I it's funny how you can't really do anything. I mean, they weren't like complaining, but it's funny how I'll get messages from some people saying, you should have pressed this person, or you I wish this episode was different in this way. Whether it be somebody on the right and someone's mad about me having a MAGA person on, or someone on the left and people are angry with them about something. It's interesting. It's interesting to see how this connects with people, and how, sometimes this weird conversation, these long-form conversations, can go in a bunch of different directions, and how people are a little goddamn malcontent sometimes, How fans can be a little snooty in their own ways. I love you, but you know what I'm saying. You know I'm right. I always am. And smoking another cigarette. I actually planned, because of how long the flight was, I had planned like 2 days before, I'm going to quit. I'm going to quit on the flight. It's like 9 hours without or I thought it was going to be 6 hours, but, it's 9 hours without a cigarette. Just keep going. Nah. I don't know when. I don't know when. Soon. I will. But I'm gonna enjoy myself, even though I'm a piece of shit smoker. I'm a overeater or whatever the fuck. I'm gonna enjoy myself now. Anyway, so I had the really cool experience, by the way, of being when I was on the Beige Phillip Show in New York, and had the really cool experience of talking to Dante and the other guys on that show about my podcast, which was really cool, and just saying the name and not getting weird looks. even though black people were in the room, I said conservative, and they were like, yeah, oh, okay, explained about the show. Like, it wasn't like conservative. What do you mean? And it was refreshing again to not be in the Bay Area. It was refreshing again to not be around people who want to put me in a box. And I know I named the goddamn show. I'm aware the fact that I was trying to be a little bit of an asshole / branding myself. I'm aware of that. I put myself in a box because I have to. No one's gonna listen to the fucking Pete Feliciano show. Who doesn't know Pete Feliciano? Unless you get hooked up with one episode and then keep listening or whatever. But it was cool to not have to feel like I had to say the name of the show and then tap dance fast enough for you to be for them to be sold on it. It was like, already there are conservative people in New York, and it's because they're actually mixed culturally. They were able to they're not putting somebody labeling somebody as bad. Joe List was he was a little mad on the YKWD about some Trumpy things, but But in general, you know, it was cool to have that experience. It was cool to like be able to talk about the show and really not feel like I needed to defend myself right before, you know, defending myself like I could just talk about what it was, you know. You know, and I still have fans who listen to the show who will message me about the show and say things like, it's not like Trump, you know, your boy Trump, like your boy, like, nigga, calm the motherfucker down. Like, I mean, you know, I don't know. I mean, kind of, but not really. Like, I say it all the time that the guy's an asshole. Like, I say it all the time, like, that I wish there were things that were different. But, you know, when they were going back and forth on you know what, dude, about why someone would vote for Trump or whatever. Like, I mean, we used to do the thing. I don't know about everybody else, but you know, when I first voted, I think it was like '04, maybe. Yeah, I think it was '04 for president. It was people were talking about the lesser of two evils, you know. Which is a cynical way to think about it, but it's also a very realistic and right way to think about it. I don't think it's healthy for someone to think that a certain politician checks all the boxes on every single fucking thing that they believe in. Like, I think it's healthy for each person to be nuanced. I think it's healthy for us to disagree on, like, 20%. Like, I agree with X, like Trump as an example. Great as far as, you know, for me, great as far as some things, bad as far as other things. You know, great as far as North Korea, great as far as economy, great as far as capitalism, great as far as not jumping into the insanity of identity politics and fighting that fight. I know you say he didn't defend, he didn't say. I really, by the fucking way, God damn it, I want to fucking yell about this. All you motherfuckers are just passing around that idea that Trump didn't defend, that Trump didn't say anything about white supremacy after Charlottesville. Yes, the fuck he did. Literally 2 seconds of a Google search, and I was able to find the video where he said, fuck white supremacy, fuck racism. Like, he has said that his whole fucking career, dummies. But anyway, I know you just want to, I heard a talking point. Blah, blah. Here's this talking point I heard. Because you're looking for a talking point. You're looking to defend what you already fucking believe and entrench yourself deeper. Do a short Google search, kids. And I'm guilty of that too. But anyway. So, you know, it's about the lesser of two evils. And when I look at Trump, or when I look at, God forbid, Elizabeth Warren, or honestly Bernie, like, I'm like, yeah, you know, I may agree with Bernie on 30% of things, or at least where he's coming from, or maybe his personality. Maybe he really is just a jovial, wise old man. Maybe he is. Maybe he's not a cunt who's who's made a lot of money doing nothing. Maybe that is the truth. Maybe that is the truth. But if I agree with Bernie 30-40% on things, but I agree with Trump 60%, I'm going to go with the 60, right? I mean, that just makes sense. If those are the options that are being given to me as a human being, as a voter, wouldn't I just choose whatever I agree with more? You know, sure, the 20% I disagree, or 40%, say it's 40% I disagree with Trump on, maybe like staggering, or maybe a personality flaw. But I mean, I'm allowed to think about things. Like, I'm allowed to be somewhere in the middle. I'm allowed to, like, you know, voting for someone is not a tacit endorsement of every single fucking thing they goddamn believe or have done. It's just a lesser of two evils type of thing. Or a morer of more, you know, I can't even. I'm really tired. Okay, I don't need to talk good. But anyway, I don't. Just even if I vote for Trump, like, these people who don't know any Trump supporters, like, can you not put us in a box? Like, I'm pretty sure I'm going to vote for Trump in 2020. I know, it's very sad. But That doesn't mean that I 100% agree with every single thing he's ever said, done, or believed, or voted for. That's not. But I look at the other side, and I see people literally saying things like that America has an issue with like a super huge issue with racism and sexism and homophobia, and I look around in my experience, and I know I'm in the Bay Area. I know I visited but I look around at my experience, and I don't have that fucking experience, so I'm not gonna vote for that. Now, if your experience is that you walk around and you see racism and homophobia everywhere, and you want to vote against that more than you want to, care about anything else, rock and roll, have fun. But I kind of see it as I say, I'm a resident of Pacifica, California. I shouldn't be really in the business of voting for what crosswalks should be put in or not put in San Jose, California. You know what I mean? That's their experience. They know their city, and they know their experience. I know mine. I have just as important a voice as somebody in Oklahoma. I have just as important a voice, and someone in Oklahoma has just as important a voice as I do. I look around and I don't see a violent, huge fucking problem with homophobia and racism and sexism and transgender phobia. I don't see that. I just don't. And not because I'm in the Bay Area, but because I'm a human fucking being. You know what I mean? I love, who was it? God damn it. Was it Joe? It was either Joe List, Mark Normand. I don't think it was Burr. One of the guys in the Patrice benefit said this awesome thing. He said, I think it was Mark. Mark Normand is a motherfucking funny guy. And he said this thing. He was like, he was like, it seems fine to hate as long as you're not being specific. If you said, I hate Mexicans, people would be like, oh, what the fuck is wrong with you? But if you say, I hate people, everyone's like, yeah, people suck. Why is it okay to hate everyone? To be that antisocial, I hate everyone, that cool goth girl. You know what I mean? But it's but if you're specific, that's a bad thing. Life is hard enough. I think life is difficult. I think we all run into, as Jordan puts it, tyranny. We all run into people, bosses, whether they're black, white, Chinese, who are cunts and who use power in a bad way. Male, female. There are male bosses who are weirdly kind of, sexist and men. And then there are bosses who are females who are unfucked, unfuckable, just pieces of fucking shit. Bosses can be shitty bosses, whether you got a dick or a vagina or in the middle. It's not all one boss. You think, we need a woman president because it's going to be great because they have a vagina. You don't know any shitty females? Are you out of your fucking mind? You don't know any females that are bad people? Look at your diary, sweet pea. That's not a, females who suck ass. I would venture to say, trans people who are people you don't want to hang out with. You think just because you're trans, that means you're not, that you're above being a shitty human from time to time? We're all shitty humans. We're all wonderful children of God or universe, or whatever you want to call it, Benjo. We're all wonderful and shitty. It's not black and white. It's somewhere in the middle. I heard a bunch of people give me feedback on when I was talking about this podcast from YKWD and from Beige Phillip, who were like, yeah, that's a great way to put it. That's a great, gays and guns. You know what I mean? I have to pick a side? Can't I take things as it comes? Do I have to? You know what I mean? There's so many people, especially, I hate the fact that these motherfuckers say, well, it happens on both sides. Yeah, okay, but it's way fucking worse on the left. It's fucking way worse on the left. Right now. Oh, but on the right, it's racism. Yeah, way over on the right. But on the left, people in the center on the left are losing their fucking minds. are jumping immediately. Both stars, academia, and senators and House of Representatives jumping on Jussie fucking Smollett right away to say he's a fucking hero, saying it's racist and homophobic to second guess his fucking story or say things like wait for the facts. That saying wait for the facts is racist and homophobic, and you're in the center on the left. Like you're not even like a violently intersectional, way crazy left. You're in the center on the left, and you're saying fucking retarded shit like that. You're goddamn Kamala Harris talking about how his story is such a blah blah blah. Oh, you got to see the video. Please pause this and go watch the video of Kamala Harris trying to walk back her tweets and statements about Jussie Smollett. Can we also, by the way, just say that's not his fucking name? Jussie? No one names their child Jussie. That's a chosen name, and that's a stupid fucking name. Jussie. Not Jesse. Jussie. Jussie. Immediately, I don't trust you. Immediately, I want to pour bleach on your face. You understand what I'm saying? It's fucking like Kamala goddamn Harris, who Gradient's all for. Was it Gradient? Yeah, I think it was Gradient. It was all for Kamala Harris. Motherfucker, come on now. Gradient. So anyway, it's way worse on the left. It's way worse in San Francisco than it is in Oklahoma right now. Be real. It's way worse in San Francisco or in Los Angeles or in parts of circles of Manhattan than it is in fucking Florida. You know? Well, I get followed around a store. I'm going to talk about that real quick. Sometimes black people steal things. It's true. I'm not saying more often necessarily, although, but when there's a black male between the ages of 13 to 26, like, sorry, experience teaches us things. You know what I mean? Like Patrice used to say, like, if you're a white lady, a white girl in high school, like you need to check dumpsters for the baby that you fucking dumped in there. Like generalizations and stereotypes happen for a reason. Okay, you get followed around. That sucks. But is it enough to say you're going to vote for fucking Kamala Harris because of it? Stop. Just because if you have mild inconvenience, number one, doesn't mean you need to fucking vote for somebody who's going to goddamn ruin the country. And number two, I really think that does happen more often. Like, I know it's a little racist to say it, but I'm not saying like that they should be punished for something they didn't do. I'm not saying, but often it's not even the white lady following a black kid around the store. It's a fucking Asian. It's an Asian who has seen things happen over and over and doesn't want to have that happen again, who has had black kids steal from her, her Korean fucking liquor store over and over. When fucking 3 black kids walk in with backpacks on into a fucking liquor store, like, you're not going to buy fucking anything. You're not going to buy liquor. There's a reason why I should be a little goddamn suspicious. I'm not saying it never happens with whites. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying there's a certain culture to young black kids, especially, males and females. Like, there was this ring of, I'm not going to take the time to look it up. There was this ring of black girls who were robbing from Victoria's Secrets in the San Mateo County, I think it was. Mike the Southerner knows about this, but if you go into Union Square, if you work in Union Square, you know what I'm fucking talking about. If you go into Union Square in San Francisco, like, if you're a black female, especially like the heavier ones with shit like colors in their hair, like, stop, baby. You know you're stealing. Stop. You know it. Don't victimize yourself. You know that you're fucking stealing, or you know that there are a lot of black girls who steal from those fucking stores. Stop. And you get away with it mostly when you do get away with it is because people don't want to seem racist. Is because as soon as they go, hey, excuse me, what's in your backpack? What? You're just following me because I'm black. Well, yeah, but you know what I mean? Like, I talk about this all the time, but like, if you're a European and you come into my fucking restaurant, I know you ain't tipping for shit. I know you're not tipping for shit. Now, is it all the time true? No, but my experience teaches me. I touch my hand on the hot stove of shitty-ass European tourists enough to know that your dumbass is either ignorant about tipping or is willfully being a dick. Because, it's too American. So fuck you. You know what I mean? Am I going to give you worse service? Probably not. But I think we all have behaviors, you know. Do I think that it's unfair for every single black kid to be mad at cops? No, I don't think that's unfair. Your experience teaches you. Now, could my experience be lying to me? Sure. But, yeah, I don't know. Anyway. I'm going to wrap this up. It's been long enough, and I got to change my laundry into the dryer, and, yeah. It's been yeah. I really appreciate getting to do this podcast tonight, and I'm glad that you're on the journey with me. But I really am. Like, I am glad that I get to do this, and I'm glad I get to have the followers and the listeners that I have, and yeah, I'm just, it's been a crazy week. Anyway, so what is today? It is Thursday, the 21st of February. I'm not 100% sure because I may be leaving town temporarily, but I should be, most likely, at Vino Locale this Saturday, playing music in Palo Alto between 7 and 9. Vino Locale is over on University. It's a nice little wine bar. They have delicious cheese, and so I'm going to play there this Saturday, the 23rd, between 7 and 9. I'm also going to be playing at Amelie Wine Bar the following day, Sunday, the 24th, between 7 and 10 in San Francisco on Polk Street. I'm an even better musician and singer and writer of music than I am an amazing, hilarious, thought-provoking podcaster. So go listen to my dumb music. Leave us a review here, wherever you're listening to it, whether it be iTunes or SoundCloud or wherever the fuck. Like and share the podcast, and don't trust black people. No. So that's where I'll be playing music this weekend, and I believe, let's see, what's the next gig I have up if you can't come to that? No, I've got some recordings. Oh, I will be on Monday, the 4th of March. You remember Aziz? You remember Aziz is the comedian from a couple episodes ago. I think it was episode 50. I'm going to be on his podcast, the Yerba Buena, Aziz Yerba Buena, on FCC Free Radio at 4 p.m. Monday, the 4th of March. So you can listen to us talk shit, and I'll probably play some music. Yeah, find me on Instagram at Peter_Feliciano, and Feliciano is how you spell that. And love you all very much. And sorry again for the late episode, but go fuck yourself. Thank you.